Hello students, welcome to Learn and Practice Institute, the Institute for Complete Learning. And last we completed our chapter, chemistry first chapter, that is the matters in our surroundings, the first part of it. And there we have discussed up to the melting point and the boiling point and latent heat of the different state of the matter, just like the solid, liquid, gas, just like that. Okay, and today we will discuss about the evaporation process. Right, last day also we have discussed about the evaporation, condensation, and at which temperature it used to increase the temperature, at which temperature the evaporation and the condensation held. So all we discussed last, and we have also said about the Kelvin scale. Got it, that 273 Kelvin. So in this we have completed, and today we will discuss about the evaporation, the factors of the evaporation, and evaporation, how does it affects as the cooling situations around it. Okay, so let's go for it without wasting time. Today's topic. So first of all, the evaporation. We know that evaporation, last we have already read in the previous classes also. Evaporation means that the taking out of the liquid substances as a gaseous substances. Got it? When the liquid substances heat itself by any kinds of energy of the heat, and it used to convert itself as a gaseous matter in the air, that is known as the evaporation. Got it? And evaporation process only by held from the liquid to gas, and the things that hails from solid to liquid, solid to gas. We have already seen that few of the solid particles of matters are there, those which used to convert itself as a gas without taking the state of liquid. The liquid state they do not take directly from solid to gas. Okay, for example is camphor. So camphor, like few matters are already there in our world that helps to, or that converts from solid matter to gaseous matter. And what is the process of it? It is the evaporation process? No, this process is known as sublimation, right? This process is sublimation. Okay, so sublimation process is the process through which the solid substances convert into gas. Got it? And evaporation is the process through which the liquid substances convert into gas. Okay, and in sublimation process also the gaseous substances convert into solid. So through which process gaseous substances convert into solid? Through sublimation process, because it means the process through which the solid convert into gas as well as gas convert into solid again. This process is known as the sublimation process. Got it? In the same way, when we are going for the solid liquid gas, it means solid to liquid, liquid to gas. That time the evaporation process, condensation process, such a process we used to take. Okay. Evaporation process are mainly of two types. In two conditions evaporation process can be held. Number one, that is the surface, from surface. Evaporation that holds on the surface part, it means the top part of the water or any liquid, that is the surface. And number two is bulk evaporation. Bulk evaporation means from the entire part of the water. Suppose a container that contains the water into itself, and through the entire water, when the evaporation process holding, this process is called the bulk evaporation. So bulk evaporation helps only by boiling. When we used to boil it by the fire, when you give fire, it is to boil, bubbles comes out at every time. It comes as 100 degrees centigrade, and 100 degrees centigrade means water is to boil. So when the water is boiling, then from the entire part, the molecules, the liquid molecules of the water is changes into gaseous part of it. Okay, so in this way it used to help, or evaporation is to help from the entire part. Whereas the water on, if the in the container, suppose the container is taken and a glass of water is kept in the direct sunlight, and you know that it's very easy that from here, from the surface part, the water is to evaporate. Now evaporation only by the heating energy, or the temperature that is coming, it is not the factor. Yes, it is also a factor, but except it, how many factors are there? Number one is given as humidity. Humidity means, we know that humidity means when in air moisture is present, right? At the very time humidity increase, or when it is less, then humidity decrease or dryness comes. So when there is humidity decreased, okay, decreased means temperature is high. Temperature is high means there is no water bubbles or water vapors in the air. So when the humidity is decreased, that time this surface, from the surface area of the liquid evaporates fast. Then temperature, you know, it is happening every time. Then surface area. Surface area means it happens, or it sometimes the surface of the container. Suppose the surface of the container or the shape of the container is like this. Okay, the mouth part of it, it's totally open and water is filled up with here, water or any liquid. It is totally kept in the sunlight. Now you say, okay, here one container, here is the another container, and water is also present, sunlight is also coming here through it. Now say, through which container water will be vaporized first? Which one? This conical one or this that beaker shaped one? Of course the beaker shaped. What for? Because the surface, the outer surface of this container is quite wide, right? It is wide, but it is not wide so long. So that's why the heat will present here, but it is in minimum amount rather than this. So therefore it is also held or based on the surface area of the container, surface area of the water bodies, where the water bodies is not so much deep, not so much vast. There water doesn't vaporize so fastly, right? Number 4, wind speed. Yes, with the help of the wind speed, the speed of the wind also, the water from the surface can be evaporated, because we know that wind contains the temperature along with it, the temperature that is present in the atmosphere, wind used to takes it. Got it? So that's why from where the wind is blowing, if the wind is so much hot, so at that very time when it will blow onto the surface of the water will also be evaporated along with the temperature. Okay, if the temperature is high in the wind, then it will be evaporate fast. If it is not so long, or it is quite minimum temperature in the air and air is blowing, that very time a very minimum water will be vaporized. So in this way, few factors are there based on which from surface of the water it is evaporated. Okay, good. Now come to the boiling point. We are dealing with boiling point. What is the boiling point? Last day we have read about the boiling point, melting point. Boiling point is the ultimate point or the ultimate temperature at which water used to boil. Right? Water is to boil. So we know that 100 degrees centigrade. 100 degrees centigrade is the ultimate point where water start to boil, or all the molecules of the water, the water that is molecules are present inside it, it used to boil it fast. It used to jump it fast in the container. Okay, and you will observe that when it is near to come to the 100 degree or it is 100 degree, that time bubbles comes out so fast from here. Right? So it means the actual point, the actual temperature at which water is to boil, that is the boiling point. So when the boiling point comes at that very time, from the entire part, from the bulk part of the water, it used to evaporate, right? So these are the processes of the evaporation. Now the question is, evaporation, how it makes its surroundings cool. For example, I am giving one example. It is said everywhere, and we also know and we also use this, that during summer season, most of us, we used to wear the cotton clothes, right? We do not go for the silk, we do not go for the rayon clothes or jeans. We just wear in a very loose, not so tight, very loose cotton dresses. What for? What's the reason? And people used to choose the white color cotton clothes. What for? Number 1, when they are using white color, it means white is the ultimate color that can reflect any color, do not absorb. Okay, and black so do not absorb, the color doesn't absorb. So that's why it is quite necessary, or it is benefited for ourselves to wear. So that's why during the summer season we used to wear the white color dresses and cotton clothes. Why? Cotton clothes helps to or allow the air to pass to our skin. It means if we wear, so that's why if we wear that very cotton clothes, the air that is at the outside, what is blowing, it helps to move inside through the cotton clothes into our body, so that our body can get the air easily, can pass the air easily. So that's why we used to wear the cotton clothes. What for we get so much comfortable when the air passes and comes to our and touch to our skin? Because that time in the summer season, most of us and all of us, we used to sweat. No? The sweat comes out from our body. It means the water comes out from our body, and when that very water, by the help of those the atmospheric temperature or the wind, it helps to evaporate. That time what happens, our skin seems to be cool. What for? As our body, the inside part, the internal part of our body is getting heat, is getting temperature, producing temperature by the help of the circulation, the blood circulation. Okay, automatically water comes out from our body by the help of the outer temperature and the inner temperature of our body. When it is coming contact, the air is coming contact, we know that hot air means it will help to evaporate our sweat, our perspiration. The perspiration comes out, it will be evaporated, and when it will come in touch to our, the hot air come in touch to our skin, that very time the hot molecules of the air will convert itself into cold air. Okay, what for? Because they are coming in contact to the water bubbles. Water bubbles are present throughout our body. When come in contact, then it is just changing its temperature. The air molecules is changing its temperature. Got it? So that's why they're converting itself within a very single second or very nanoseconds from heat to cold. Got it? So that's why we get very much comfortable when the hot air or the air passes through our skin. So in this way, evaporation sometimes also feels ourselves or feels its surroundings cool. Okay. In the same way, if you think that there is a glass that contains the freezing water, the totally freezing water, the water is taken from the deep freeze. So when taken, after that, when you will keep it in the outside, in the room temperature, you will observe lots of tiny droplets at the outside of this glass. Lots of tiny droplets. What for? What is the reason of it? Same way, as inside part of the water is very cold, but we know that our surroundings, our atmosphere is not as cold as this. Got it? So that's why when the hot air, when it will pass through it, so that time automatically what will be, the hot air molecules will change itself, will change its heatness into coldness, and it will make a tiniest bubbles around its body. So that's why we observe the tiniest bubbles or tiniest water droplets around the glass. Okay, so in this way, through the vaporization or through the evaporation process, the surface or its surroundings, it helps to keep it cool. Got it? And it also changes own states from heat to cold, cold to heat, in this way. Got it? So this is the topic, the entire topic of the first chapter. Hope you guys understand everything, and if you have problem, must ask me, there is no problem, and must give the comments in the comment box, and must like my channel and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.